Hey guys, Kurz here with you today. Today I want to go over a little kind of comparison or maybe like a versus for the two different Swiffers we have here. So this one over here, this is, I believe this is called the PowerMop. Yeah, there it is. This is the PowerMop. And this is the Swiffer WetJet. This has pretty much been around forever, it feels like. I think this one's a little bit newer. But first I want to show you the batteries on both. So on the Swiffer WetJet, this is how the batteries are. So we already have these are the batteries that came with it. So this is how the batteries are in there. It's kind of, if you're not used to these or never had one before, it's kind of tricky to find where these are at. But this is a little side piece here that goes on like this. But after you put the batteries in, it slides in there like so, right there. Now this does not snap. A lot of products, whenever you put them in there, you'll hear a good firm snap, lets you know it's in place. There's no real snap on this one. Well, maybe a little bit there. Let's see. No, not really. But that's how it goes in. In order to take it out, they do have a little arrow on there, lets you know which direction. Kind of put your thumb on there, give it a little pull. And there's this one. So coming over here to the PowerMop, a little bit different. Small little piece are the batteries, and this is going to go on this side of it like so. There we go. Well, maybe I don't think I had that in there just right. Kind of hard to do with one hand, but there we go. So that's in there. So there's where your batteries go. As far as this part right here, this is where your actual pads are going to attach. They're pretty similar, slightly different design here. It's got a little more kind of back and forth. Over here, we got a couple different designs. And you can see we have dogs in our house. There's already dog hair in here. But there's a little bit of a like Velcro material right here, as well as right here. That's how your mop heads or your mop pads are going to attach. And I'll stick those on there in a second so you can kind of see how that works. But I also want to go over the difference between these. But coming up here to the part here where you put your cleaner in, this is the cleaner that came with it. And this is a little bit smaller size than what you would buy at the store. The ones you buy at this store are going to be, well, not necessarily at the store, but the full size bottles are going to be more comparable to this. On the PowerMop, they went ahead and gave you a full size bottle. On the WetJet, they gave you a small, almost like a sample size maybe. But they go in pretty easy. Here's the tap, or the top. You see there's like a little divot in there. And that's going to go right in there. And pretty easy to get in there. You just slide it in, give it a little, kind of hard to do with one hand again. Give it a little push in. There we go. And to eject it, there's a little button. And a cool thing about these is when you do eject them, that is not ruined right here. So it's not a matter of you jab a hole in it and now you can't do anything with this. It can go in and out here. You see it doesn't leak even after you've put it in there. But it goes right in, give it a little push in. So similar idea or the same idea for this one. Again, there's the tip of this, slightly different. Going onto this side of it. There we go. So pretty similar. And that goes right in there, and same thing, give it a little push. And again, when you want to eject it, there's the eject button, pops right out. All right, so there's that. So as far as the actual little mop pads here, there is a significant difference between these. This is going to be, I think, kind of the main difference between these two products. So first, the size. Let me actually get them over here side by side so you can kind of see them. So this is the, well, the small one is the Swiffer WetJet. This one over here is the, what's that called? PowerMop, I forgot already. PowerMop, yes. So on the PowerMop, you can see that is significantly bigger. If you kind of line this up, you can see quite a bit of difference in size. So as far as kind of cleaning or using these, This one, you're gonna obviously have to do a little bit more back and forth to get your room. This one, you know, again, being a little bit bigger, you know, should be able to get things done a little bit faster. But you can also see this one over here, the PowerMop, has a lot of these little pieces attached to it. This is going to be a little bit more similar to an actual mop, where this one here is just kind of a pad. And you can see here, that's pretty thin. Where this one over here is just as thin, but it has all these little pieces kind of flopping around there. That's going to be kind of the main difference between the two. As far as actually attaching everything, right there again, the Velcro, and that is going to line up with this. So whenever that lines up, it should go right on there. Generally, I put this, or usually, I put the actual pad on the floor, and then I set this on top of it and just use kind of the weight of this to push it down in there. Occasionally, I do put my foot on top of it to push. You have to be very careful doing that because here are your jets. So if you put your foot right on here and smash it down, you're going to run the risk of doing some damage or breaking something. Kind of same thing over here. Here's your jets. So you want to make sure not to push on that too hard. Let's see. But you see these go on there very easy. It literally just kind of sets on there. And that's pretty much it. I mean, it's on there at that point. Again, if you're going to be mopping a little bit, you may want to give it a little push just to make sure. But there you go. It goes on there very easy and also comes off easy as well. But there you go, guys. So that's how everything attaches. So let's get this down on here so you can actually see what this looks like, how it works. Put that one down. Come over here and grab this one. Alrighty, there we go. So visually, kind of the difference between these, the PowerMop here, it's just a little bit prettier, at least in my opinion. Got a little bit of design. This was pretty standard, been around forever. The new PowerMop has this extra little grip right here, something to grab a hold of. Up here, pretty similar. You do have the little holes right here that you can use to hang this on the wall or wherever you want to hang it, just for kind of easy storage. So as far as the actual use, let me try to grab this without breaking these. There we go. I think I got it balanced. So on the original Swiffer WetJet here, here's a button. When you push this, you have your two little jets that are going to go right there. As soon as you let go of the button, it stops, so you can pretty much do this as long as you want it to. But you can kind of see how it squirts out a little bit of a distance, and you can use this to easily mop your floor. This thing pushes very easy, not much effort required. Coming into the other one here, this one's a slightly different story. So same idea on this part. You have a button, you have your little jets. There we go. I have noticed that whenever you use this, this one over here, the PowerMop, tends to put out a little bit more liquid, but it does not shoot it out quite as far. You can even see it kind of suds up there. Not that that's a big deal, but just something to point out. But whenever I use this one, even though this is wider, and you are going to be able to get away with kind of less swipes or sweeps or whatever you want to call it here, I do notice this one is quite a bit harder to actually push. I mean, it's not a deal breaker by any means, but that is a noticeable difference when you're using the two. And I'm assuming that's just because all of these extra little pieces kind of coming out there, that fringe or whatever you want to call it, that does clean better, which is going to be better for kind of a floor like we have. You can kind of see this is tile, but there is a lot of grooves and a lot of texture to it. So this one is going to do a slightly better job cleaning it. But again, it is a little bit harder to push. So just kind of really pros and cons to both. Both of them are very good, just slight differences. Again, this one here is smaller but easier to push. This one's a little bit bigger, kind of harder to push, but again, I think it's going to do a slightly better job. But I would definitely recommend both. They're both very good products. They're both very easy to use, very kind of user-friendly. Not really much of a learning curve needed too much here. But there you go, guys. So I hope somebody out there got something from this video. And thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.